Namaskaram everyone, this is Vishwaksen and welcome to Vaka Talks, where we talk about mental health and emotional well-being in different kinds of relationships. We are talking about the story of Gangodbhavam, the story of River Ganga, Mata Ganga, and her descent from the heavens onto the earth and into the Patalam, and trying to extract lessons, learn from it, and learn about generational trauma, normalize toxicity, and how to deal with it. Now Jihnu Muni has released Mata Ganga and she is following Bhagirath again, and he leads her and she is following, and then her waters fill all the seas, basically the same ditches that the Saagaras have dug. Her waters fill all those ditches, creating the seas. That is why these seas are also called Saagaras, because they are the ditches uh, that Saagaras have dug, and then it goes into the Patalam and flows over the 60,000 piles of ashes of the Saagaras, and then they attain mukti. So this process is basically basically this is the healing is done. We have dealt with the generalized toxicity. Remember the poison was diluted among the 60,000 kids. This became the toxic environment, the generalized acceptance of toxic behavior and toxicity. So now as Mata Ganga flows over them, they have attained mukti, and we have dealt with the generalized acceptance of toxic behavior, toxicity in the system altogether, and we have eradicated it. So it takes a lot of effort to deal with organizational, communal, societal, or religious toxicity that has crept into the system, and we do hold on to this because it has been snowballing over generations, and it has been normalized to the extent that we and people don't even know any other way other than the toxic environment. It is very difficult to disassociate from the system. That is why uh, Krishna always says you should not be bound by these worldly entities. Disassociate yourself. He never says that you should not participate in them. He says you need to disassociate yourself from them. You need to be able to remove yourself from the system and walk towards wisdom, walk towards the truth. You should be able to see the system from an external point of view. Only then will you be able to see the flaws. Only then will you be able to work on them. He never stops, he never says don't participate, don't try to fix. He says you don't fall into the trap. The same thing, uh, how to deal with it, we have talked about it when we spoke about Devi Mahatmyam, and how to deal with it, and how Devi helps us, what are all different pashams, different pitfalls, different illusions that we fall into uh, in the worldly affairs. So this thing is not just for one small group, not for one family, not for one particular town or village uh, or neighborhood. It, you see the same trends going even to the extent of geopolitics. The same problems where things have been normalized and people refuse to accept that they can be wrong. There can be another way, and how toxic and how uh, how exploiting the system is, and how how the toxic people are playing the game and manipulating us and gaslighting us to basically put themselves as authority and to rule over us. How uh, they use different terms interchangeably, and how they draws into a false sense, because they create the problems for them to be valid, for them to continue to be valid, and how they create a lot of suffering and a lot of uh, exploitation in the world. This is not limited to one person, one small group, one neighborhood. It is present throughout, and it is important for us to be able to disassociate ourselves from it, to be able to work on it, to be able to make ourselves better, to be able to make the system better. And as Mata Ganga flows over the 60,000 piles of ashes and they attain mukti, the the toxicity in the system has been washed out, has been dealt with. We need to make sure that more poisons don't creep in. Yes, this is not a once and done thing. The same thing keeps happening over and over again. If it's not one poison, it's a different poison, a different entity, different challenge, different form of exploitation, different form of narcissism. So there is always the always different forms, and we are dealing with multiple poisons in different systems, and we need to fight them. We need to make ourselves capable of dealing with them. First we need to recognize them, then convince people that it is wrong, and then start working on it, and then only can we eradicate this problem. Just like how we eradicate pandemics, how we eradicate different diseases. We have eradicated measles, polio, we have eradicated smallpox, but there are uh, different groups that creep into the system. They tend to bring these back alive. So it has taken a huge effort to eradicate these diseases, and again, there will always be someone who brings them back and makes it a problem again. So this is an ongoing process. The same thing in the mental world as well, mental health world as well. So Mata Ganga, River Ganga, in the heavens, known as Mandakini, on earth Bhagirathi, and in the Patalam she became Bhogavati. And then some text also says that she came back from onto the earth from the Patalam in the form of the small koneru, small pond at Kapila Tirtham in Tirupati, and people say that that is Mata Ganga coming up from the Patalam again. So again, this is needed because we need to keep going back to keep healing. Whenever we see that okay, something is going wrong, we need guidance. We don't want to deal with the whole story, whole process again. We need a resource for us to basically uh, keep attending, and we need practices that we need to follow to keep things at bay and to improve our quality of life. If you like my content, please hit the like button and share your experiences in the comment section below, and please share my videos with people you feel would benefit from my content, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Until we meet again.